All right, we're live. Okay, welcome back. In this episode of Film Smart, we're just going to talk about everything, I guess, that kind of just comes up. But I guess there'll be a kind of a focus on some of the summer movies that have come out, like Infinity War and Solo and Deadpool 2, and then stuff that we're looking forward to, like Incredibles 2, Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Uh, Maybe the Meg. I don't know what else, whatever else we're looking forward to, um, and then maybe even Avengers 4 event. Looking to next summer and whatever else. So, Josh, what were your thoughts? I know we were, over a month late now.
yeah,
War,
yeah,
but
it's a minute since Infinity War came out. But I'm just trying to think like how I can tackle discussing this event
yeah,
because okay, so as far as characters, okay, I'll just talk about like some of my favorite characters and like moments and some of the things I appreciate. So one thing
hmm
I do really appreciate about this movie is that I mean, I guess same directors, but that it bleeds over. Like Civil War really had an impact in
yeah,
the universe. Like I truly, truly, truly believe that if Civil War didn't happen, they would have defeated Thanos.
yeah. I mean,
Like, there's no reason why they would have lost if like because they on Titan, those few Avengers and Guardians were able to almost get the gauntlet off of him.
hmm
And then if they had the power, if they had Scarlet Witch, Thor, Captain America, well, he was useless. Never mind. If they had Scarlet Witch, Scarlet Witch, Thor, Vision, even though he was useless too. But
you kept getting injured.
yeah, I was like, okay, that's also okay. I feel like I'm gonna go on a wild tangent just discussing this, but you guys are going for the ride because if you've been watching this long, you already know that what I say you sometimes has no correlation, but in the end, it all comes full circle. Okay, so one gripe that I had was that Vision really seemed like he was completely useless the entire movie, and that
Yes.
that Vision and Wanda both couldn't fight these aliens, but Captain America and Black Widow and Falcon could. But it makes no sense
Mhm.
in any way. Her powers and then magically get god level at the end of the movie. So don't tell me that she didn't know how to use them.
Yeah, when
Um,
she stopped that big ship thing or whatever that was rolling around.
yeah, I'm sitting here like, and then lifts it up, yeah, and throws it on top of
hmm
all of the army. I'm like, so you were playing earlier, okay?
Well, it's even like the writers knew that because then Okoye is like, why was she up there this whole
Yeah,
time?
why was she up there? I mean, I
Like,
understand she's Wanda is very emotional and possessive because of all the things that she's lost. So even when it would be rational for her to go to the battlefield, she'd rather be around Vision protecting him.
hmm
Yeah, I mean, and that was the whole point was that they were keeping them out to protect Vision.
yeah,
That was literally the whole point they were in Wakanda was because that was like the one place shrouded off from the world. Of course, they still
hmm
got found,
yeah,
but I'm like, Vision really did seem like completely useless, and I was like, he really seemed like he was as for a machine. He's so. I mean, I guess that could be like they could explain it by he's becoming more and more human and sentient, and that's why
yeah,
he's losing calculation and becoming more emotional, and that's why he's making these mistakes.
yeah. I mean, they've done an interesting thing with that is because in Age of Ultron, he was sort of this perfect godlike figure. They
Yeah,
even like, when he stops in front of the window, and he just floats there, and then he picks up Thor's hammer and he's tearing things to shreds towards the end of the movie, and then he has that, and it's kind of cool. But then in Civil War, where the neutering began, I think for him is in Civil
yeah,
War, and they tried to build on that him and that Wanda relationship, which was fine or whatever. And he did some cool stuff in the airport, but he didn't do nearly enough at the airport that he could have done.
yeah.
Um,
It doesn't make any sense because
yeah,
at the end of the day, this dude is an Infinity Stone holder.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
oh, like Ronan was gonna put it in a staff and destroy an entire planet. So you're telling me that Vision couldn't tap his foot and destroy the whole planet?
yeah,
So I'm just saying, like the power set for the Infinity. I always knew that like when you try to do things that are like ultimate power, there's always some loophole or weird thing where they don't ever use the power for some
but
reason.
it's like I don't know. For some reason, they always had that issue with Well, no, that's a lie. Never mind. But I was going to say, with Thor, it seems sometimes that they didn't always let him go full crazy, but he did in his first movie. But in Thor Ragnarok and in this one, they really have let him go crazy again.
Yeah,
And
I like that he really discovered his power.
yeah, and I love that. But I wish that Vision would be able to do that, because I think Vision and Thor, to a degree, sometimes suffer from the Superman thing, where, like you were saying, where they're so powerful that it's hard to like
Yeah,
deal with them. But even in Man of Steel and a lot of these movies, they've allowed Superman to go crazy. So I don't know why they can't allow Vision to just bust out, destroy everything. He just sees, and I do. By the way, I do think he's going to come back. I think Sherry found a way to bring him back.
yeah. Just like his bringing a new body.
Yeah, because I mean, they made this whole big deal about how there's a chance we can get this Mind Stone out and we can help him. And Shuri had to end her thing quickly. I think she had enough to save him.
I could really see her being like, "Don't you think I would back it up?" Or like,
yeah, yeah, she's gonna be like really smart about it.
I can see her. They'd be like, "He's gone," but he's like, "No, remember, he is a robot."
Yeah,
like of course I already uploaded him into something else.
Yeah, I think that maybe when he comes back, he'll be more robotic.
Yeah, I think that would be truly like horrific for Wanda. If the whole part that she fell in love with is gone.
Yeah,
or that really even recognizes her as, or like like the part that feels anything for her is gone.
Yeah, I think that could be a really interesting thing and could lead to a House of M or something down the line.
Yeah, I'm like, I could really see her like, going off and creating this weird like fairy tale world where have they done anything with her manipulating, like, I don't know, the way her powers look, it looks like it came from the Reality Stone, but of course it came from Loki's staff. But
yeah, it's weird. It is weird that they did that.
Yeah, it was like, because her powers look like the Reality Stone, and I'm like, that would be cool if she could alter reality because she came from the Reality Stone. But
that actually makes way more sense. Why didn't they do that?
Yeah, I'm like, whatever, because I'm like,
I mean, I get why they couldn't have done that story-wise, but they could have figured out a way to do it. I mean, it's not like Kevin Feige isn't thinking about all these different things years down before. So, I mean, he couldn't have thought of a way to get the Reality Stone to get that from Thor to the Dark World to Age of Ultron, or really the end of Winter Soldier is when we first see her.
Yeah.
So, in that end credit scene. So I'm surprised he couldn't have found a way to explain that.
I was really hoping that they would explain their powers as like, well, we thought we were tortured and we thought that blah, 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 but the torture activated our mutations, our dormant mutation. I love that, like from Deadpool. Oh, I always love that explanation that their mutations came from dormant, like that.
Yeah.
They thought the staff gave them powers, but it put their body through so much trauma that the mutation came to protect it.
Yeah, it's like they were like that's kind of what that Marvel's been doing on TV with the Inhumans.
Yeah, but it's important that she comes from the Infinity Stone because that's the reason why she was able to destroy it.
Mm-hmm.
Either that, or they say no, she's just based and she is really that powerful. But
yeah, and I was glad to see the power towards the end.
Yeah, because like people don't realize she was holding off Thanos while destroying an Infinity Stone.
Yeah,
like the amount of focus that take, and then it was all like emotion too. Like Elizabeth Olsen is really an amazing, like for the amount of work she puts in. For I know how ridiculous it must feel to do all that. Like she's really a great actress. Because like some of the expressions on her face, I was like, dang.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever saw Wind River, but she was really good in that.
No, I haven't, but I need to go watch it because I really actually like her a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about she really I don't know, she really has like delivered on the Scarlet Witch continues to become more and more one of my favorites because at first it was like, okay, I don't really yeah. I mean, I thought she was cool, but now she's really becoming this character that I feel like I can enjoy and not just be like, oh, her powers are cool, but I really enjoy her as a character and like, her struggles and what she's going through. But I mean, of course, her and Vision are both dead right now. But
she'll be brought back for sure. And then Vision, I think he'll be brought back. I think some people think the jury's still out on that because a lot of people are saying everybody who dies before the snap is dead. But then the director said Gamora's in the Soul World. That really was her when Thanos was talking to at the end. She really is in the Soul World.
I wonder what happens to bring her back though.
Yeah, and then maybe they won't bring her back,
because her
but
body. Mm,
yeah, her body's like gonna
it,
decompose, I guess.
yeah, and it got crushed. Like, I mean, obviously, it didn't show her body like explode or anything, but it was bleeding from her head.
Yeah.
Like, her body is not. You can't just put her soul back in it, and then she's like, "I'm fine."
Yeah, so maybe she really is dead, but like, so the soul world will like act as her heaven, maybe.
Yeah. Who else? Okay, so Gamora, Loki, Heimdall. Heimdall's not coming
Yeah,
back.
yeah. I don't want Heimdall to come back, not because I have anything against him, but like his character was always sort of anyway, and
Yeah, there's no
uh,
reason for him to come back.
yeah,
Which
and
is
I thought he did like a noble thing at the end, and it was a nice death.
yeah, I kind of feel like Loki's really done.
I hope so. I like Loki, but people are like, "Oh, what if he comes back?" No, I don't want Loki to come back because for one, they're going to bring back all of these people who dissipated, and then
Yeah,
you're going to bring back probably Vision, and who knows? They're going to do more with Gamora, whether she stays in the Soul World or not. They're going to do something with her, either in
yeah.
Avengers 4 or Guardians 3. So really, all that leaves you with is Heimdall and Loki, and you can't. You have to leave them dead.
They could do like a a really. I don't know. Why I thought that was so funny. Like in my head, I was like, "What if they did like the Ghost of Starscream, like from in the '80s with Transformers? They did the Ghost of Starscream and like Megatron killed Starscream. I mean Galvatron. I'm sorry. Don't purists don't kill me. Galvatron killed Starscream at his coronation, and I remember like for like the next series, Starscream was a ghost for the whole time. I was like, "What?" I remember watching it as a kid and being like, "What?"
A ghost transformer?
I
That's
was like,
weird.
"You're a robot."
Yeah.
But even then, I was like, they could also do like a Hannah Baker type thing in season 2 of 13 Reasons Why, where uh, basically she exists as like a ghost, not a ghost, but like somebody who haunts like Star Lord,
Mm.
somebody who's always in his head, and like, but she really is there, like she really is somewhere.
Well, maybe I think that's in Avengers 4. She'll serve as that maybe for Thanos because
Yeah,
he's going to have so much guilt. I mean, I think she'll be a part of Guardians 3, maybe in that sort of way. But I think in Avengers 4, you could use her as sort of like this haunting voice of like because
yeah,
she kind of was haunting at the end. Like, what did it cost you? It almost there was a sense of she knew what she was at. It wasn't just like she wasn't asking that because she was genuinely curious. It almost felt like she was asking because she wanted to hear him say everything. Like she
yeah.
wanted to know that he hated that he had to do it.
But then I feel like at the end he realizes like he has to realize that he's not God.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I love that Loki says it to him too. You'll never be God.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was such a good line because I remember just feeling like, and that's why that line stayed with me, stuck with me the whole movie because I was like, that's true. Like even at the end of the day, like he can't be happy that he did that. He lost everything. There's no happiness that comes with
Yeah.
it. He has
Man,
he
I like
no
that.
people. He still has no people, no daughter, nobody that loves him. He's
Mm-hmm.
like he knows the rest of the Avengers are gonna be looking for him at least. Like I'm
Yeah.
talking about, like there's nothing. He gained nothing.
He's looking out of that sunset alone.
Yeah, he didn't even look that happy. He just looked like I just
Yeah, he
imagine.
almost he was just like, oh, I'm glad to not have an axe in my chest anymore.
Yeah, I'm sitting here like, like so for what? Like I mean, you did that obviously. Like I know you don't want other people's races to perish, but I mean like you're going out of the way. I didn't know you were such a humanitarian, but
Yeah.
yeah, I was like you're going way out of your way to save people that you don't even know or care about because
Mm-hmm.
you most definitely yeah. I don't know. His motivations were good and twisted in a certain way, but at the same time, I was like, you are doing too much, dude. Like,
I think it all good. Obviously he has the motivation of the universe has a lot of people in it and trillions of souls in it, and there's only so many resources. And instead of I don't even people are like why doesn't he create more resources? I don't think the Gauntlet actually has that ability because it seemed to me that the Reality Stone creates a reality, but it's more of
temporarily
an
too.
illusion
Yeah.
and it's not like a real thing. So I don't think the Reality Stone could create, turkey for people to
Yeah, like
cook up.
I was wondering, did he turn Drax and then back, or did it just undo itself once he stopped thinking about
I
it?
think it just undid itself.
Okay, because I was like, yeah, I was like, so dang, so if the Reality Stone is a piece of the universe, does that mean that our reality isn't real?
That could be an interesting thing. It's like the reality stone is almost like a saying the universe is a hologram or a simulation or
I'm
something.
literally like, so who has the other, like the ultimate stones or something? And they like are always keeping this, like they have literally have the whole world in their hands,
Mm-hmm.
like the stones, and they are keeping this like we could really just be bacteria on a single star or something. I don't know.
Well,
And,
there is like in the original comic, the Infinity Gauntlet. There's like the elders of the universe or something like that, and
yeah,
there's like Eternity. There's a character Eternity who Thanos beats up somehow with the gauntlet and like beats him. But Eternity was one of the people, and Galactus was someone else, and there was several other people that were like the elders of the universe or whatever who can kind of controlled everything, and maybe Eternity sort of has control over everything. Who knows?
yeah,
But when in that comic, Thanos became even more powerful than all of them. That's how powerful he got. Is I kind of like the idea of like this mortal man who, you know, or he's mortal, but he's super powered or whatever. But he's becoming this god, and that's and sort of what that does to his psyche. I think that's sort of interesting. But like with the doubling the resources, he's like, instead of doing that, I'll just cut everyone in half, and then hopefully someone else in the future will realize that this was a good thing, and they'll do it again when the population eventually, who knows how long, but eventually it'll rise up again, and it'll
yeah,
need somebody will need to snap their fingers in the future. I think that's sort of because it's kind of like when you exterminate bugs in your house, you don't do it once and then for the rest of all eternity
it's
you're
fine.
fine. You have to do extermination every so often. So I think he
That's
sort
what
of sees it
I'm
like
like.
that.
Somebody eventually is going to realize that you can keep doing that, but the problem never going to go away
Yeah,
because you're not God. You can't
yeah.
control it. Like that's at the end of the day, somebody has to let him know that. Like, listen, you can't control. I mean, you can do what you want now, but that's a temporary solution to a problem that will plague people
Hmm.
forever. You can save
Yeah.
people, you're only saving this generation. Like,
Yes.
I'm like, that's why I'm really saying like somebody like he really needs to have that realization, like that. Wow, what have I done?
I think he will. I think, or at the very least, he'll have guilt. If he doesn't realize that he's made a mistake, he'll just at least have guilt, and it might only be exclusively for Gamora.
Yeah,
Um, he might do the right thing for a small reason. Although I don't know if there's anything. I think he's going to end up still fighting them, but
yeah, yeah. So,
there's going to be guilt.
how do we think that Captain Marvel is going to even come into play?
I
Like,
mean, it really depends on how her film ends. You
yeah, that's
know?
what I'm thinking. Because I'm like, I have no clue. Like, they're doing a really good job of like I have no clue how she's gonna possibly like. Because I feel like obviously something with the Kree is gonna happen where she's obviously conscious of the Infinity Stones because I feel
Hmm.
like Ronan the Accuser is very famous probably for being crazy and dying
Yeah.
and holding the Infinity Stone for and yeah, like I mean, and he's literally in her movie.
Hmm.
So I'm like, I'm sitting here like, so there's probably like some huge ties that we're going to be like. I just want to know how like she ends up not ever being seen or heard of or mentioned, and then like saving the day. We don't even know if she's saving the day. Never mind. Like, what
Yeah. I
do,
mean, she's obviously going to come. I think
I wonder
it
if she.
seems
Do
like.
you think she can wear the gauntlet?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if you've seen, but there's like been people talking about what's going to happen with the fourth one, and it's saying like obviously we see the original Avengers and War Machine, who I consider like an honorary original Avenger
Yeah.
because he's been around since the beginning, also, and then Rocket and people, but largely it's filled with the original Avengers, and they're going to have to team up with Ant-Man to go to the quantum, because Ant-Man has access to the quantum realm, which I think will allow for some sort of time travel, because obviously they don't have the time stone.
Yeah.
Uh, and then with that, they can go back in time and acquire the Infinity Stones. And Iron Man is working to build his own Infinity Gauntlet to take on Thanos.
Yeah.
I think that's the rumors that I've heard. And
I mean, I feel like that'd be cool, but at the same time, like, couldn't Thor just go back to that place and get the other one?
yeah, but I mean, he would still have to. They'd still have to like go back in time to get the stones, still though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which I guess I don't know if that creates like a.
Well, I guess now they
I don't know
do know
what
who
that would
they
do.
are. Like he knows that they're Vormir.
Yeah, they'll just have to go back. Like they'll have to go back far enough to when it like not. You don't want to go back and get it when Thanos has it, obviously.
Yeah, like I saw.
So
I remember we saw the set photo of them like at the 2012 battle.
yes. So
I think
then they'll just take it from Loki.
I think that's going to be an amazing scene.
Oh, that'll be so awesome. I can't. I'm so excited about the time travel stuff.
Dude, I love time travel.
I love like going back and reminiscing on like old movies. Something is just like that's
Like,
gonna be so nostalgic.
I really hope they make them look exactly the same so that like we can finally see the same characters in a different because we've seen that movie so many times that like it's gonna be so weird and bizarre to see the same thing, the same scene play out, but then perhaps it changes slightly.
Yeah,
And like we see Iron Man, older Iron Man interact with younger Tony Stark,
yeah,
Like it's like, oh my god, like you have this new like Mark 50 armor, and he's just sitting here like with this older. I don't know, like there's so many things that I feel like are just gonna go like crazy.
yeah.
I just the little set photos that we've seen, like obviously I only remember seeing Tony Stark, like
In the set photos.
yeah, and like the Avengers in their 2012 costumes, but Tony was in like some Shield outfit looking.
Yeah, because he looks like he's to be the director of Shield. I think.
But I guess, yeah, I guess he could be going back, and maybe Nick Fury would know something about it since he already had that panic button for Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I don't
I'm like,
know.
go back in time and immediately be like, Fury, listen, like Hydra #1.
Yeah, yeah, I'd be on high alert for that.
Like, first of all, Hydra, like, what if they bring back Shield? Like, he goes back and warns them about Hydra too, and Shield is he saves it somehow, even though there's no way to save it because it's already Hydra. But
yeah,
so
but make it.
But he can jump ship earlier and like destroy their plans. But oh yeah, and assassinate Alexander Pierce immediately.
Yeah, get that over with.
Yeah, like that's what I would pay somebody to assassinate him. I would contract the Winter Soldier or something. And
in the photos too, there's Ant-Man is in one of them. But the interesting thing that's weird about it is Captain America, all of the characters, if you pay attention, they have these things on their hands that looks like it's allowing them to time travel.
Yeah.
And I assume that Hank Pym, Michael Douglas's original Ant-Man character, and I think Michelle Pfeiffer is playing the old Wasp in it too.
Yeah.
I think that they'll come up with a technology because she's been stuck in the quantum realm, so she'll be very helpful with that. And I think Hank Pym obviously will. And they'll come up with this technology for them to time travel. And you see Ant-Man wearing it, you see Iron Man wearing it, and actually you see Captain America in his old suit wearing it, which I don't know how to explain that. I don't know. Maybe the old suit was just sitting around. He put it on. I don't know why he picked that one. I don't know.
I don't really know because I was thinking like, are they doing time travel where obviously they are because Tony Stark looks older when he goes back.
But yeah, he has the like grayish hair.
I was thinking like, I didn't know if they were gonna do the the like you transfer into your old body type time travel, or you literally your body's going, not just your consciousness is traveling back into your younger body. But
I don't know how they would explain that. Because then, that would explain Captain America, but Ant-Man wasn't even there at that time.
Dang, Scarlet Witch doesn't even exist yet. And
yeah,
they don't even exist.
Who, by the way, Quicksilver has been seen on the set apparently too. So they'll be going back in time probably to when Vision is created or something.
Yeah. I feel like there's so many things that can go wrong. As in like
are you saying story-wise, or are you talking like
with like I could really see some of these characters getting triggered. Like I think Black Panther will be at peace if they don't save his father, or at least warn him in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is a really crappy way to die. To be like bombed and then have no real justice in the end. I mean, he doesn't know, but at the same time, like your dad died over some like garbage, over somebody trying to frame somebody else.
Yeah, over something that had nothing to do with you.
Yeah. So I'm like, I feel like, T'Challa, I feel like he will be at peace with his father being dead, so he won't be mad if they don't like save him. But like Wanda, she'll want to save. I mean, she's dead now, but I feel like they will have wanted her to save Pietro.
Mm-hmm.
Like they will have wanted. I feel like she really will be like upset if they don't I don't know. Like, there's something I feel like they have to. Like, there's gonna be some real good character moments because when you go back in time, there's things that I feel like people die or like things happen to them that can be avoided now.
Hmm.
And I'm like, so how are they gonna justify like that we didn't save them or change things or
Yeah,
like,
because they're changing history anyway. So why wouldn't you?
yeah,
You can't use the argument, "Oh, it'll mess up everything." Nothing. It can't be more messed up than it already is.
yeah, because even if they go back and don't disrupt anything, the fact that they were there changes everything.
Yes.
It doesn't
So
matter.
bringing back Quicksilver is not going to ruin the history of the world.
Ooh, that'd be crazy if Marvel's dealing with some big stuff right now. Like,
I just hope that it doesn't undermine the other movies. That's all my only fear.
it's
Is that
funny.
when I go back and watch them.
I really wish that almost Infinity War, like, I really wish that money wasn't a thing. Like, wasn't a worry,
Hmm.
so that we could really like. Because at the end of Infinity, I mean, I didn't like cry or anything. Like, obviously, I was like sad that they died, but then I was like, within like maybe a minute and a half, I was like, oh, obviously these movies are coming out in a few years.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, if obviously if like it wasn't smart, like obviously they're not killing Spider-Man. Like obviously he's not gonna stay dead.
Yeah. Or
I
Black
just
Panther.
I just really wish that money wasn't like a thing, so that if they wanted to do ballsy moves like this, they could just kill somebody
Yeah.
and they stay dead. And then because it's gonna get really cheap if we keep bringing people back, and I'm just like at this point, like I just assumed that they were coming back because they Black Panther made like 1 point something billion dollars. Like why would
Yeah.
they? Like and then so I'm like, God, I wish they would have killed off more believable, but obviously they killed off like characters that don't serve the next plot that they had written. And
Although if they really wanted to, they could make a Miles Morales Spider-Man. They could make Shuri Black Panther and just focus on the women of Wakanda, like Ryan Coogler was talking about.
yeah, they could. I mean, it'd be cool. I don't think I'd care for that, but yeah, it'd be cool.
I mean, that's a way of like you can have the stakes and uh, you continue the legacy.
Those are some humongous risks too. Yeah, if Disney
Yeah.
did, I would tell them they had some real balls.
Yeah, if they did that, that would be really ballsy.
Yeah, because
I
like
think Wong, Doctor Strange.
a female Black Panther who's probably one of the skinniest girl. Like I'm like not saying she isn't strong, but I mean I guess you do have a flower, that magic flower.
Yeah. But no, if they do that, the sexists will hate that. Make Miles Morales Spider-Man, the racists will hate that. Make Wong Doctor Strange, the racists will hate that. So,
They really would, yeah.
it'll get everybody fired up.
Oh yeah.
But
It's so funny how you realize that once they kill off the main character, that all of their sidekicks are like minorities. So that nobody else would want to see like in the main role. They're like
yeah.
people, so they basically use those are still like those token sidekick minority characters. I'm like, dang.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized a Black woman, an Asian man, like
And a Black Hispanic kid.
yeah. I really think Miles Morales would be hard though, as a tribute to Peter Parker.
Mm.
Like that'd be so cool if I feel like before he comes back, like Miles like takes up the mantle because without Spider-Man, like stuff goes down, you know?
I think we're definitely going to get Miles because we already know he's there because
Yeah.
Donald Glover's character in Homecoming says, I have a nephew, and he plays a character who's the uncle of Miles Morales. So I think it's only a matter of time. It seems to me every time Marvel alludes to something, eventually it happens.
Yeah.
So
Way down the road, yeah.
yeah.
I feel like they used to throw in like in like Fox movies, they'll throw in like a useless Easter egg.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to expect for that person to show up.
Yeah.
But then like
But Marvel does it.
they usually deliver on their Easter eggs.
Yeah. Like the only one of them I can think that they still haven't is Namor, which they never outwardly said. They just had like a place that looked to be like Atlantis.
Yeah.
Which they might be reluctant to. For one, I think the rights are a little weird with Universal distributing or something.
Yeah.
So beyond that,
I feel like if Namor is in anything, it's gonna be an ensemble.
Yeah. Everybody wants to have him be the villain in Black Panther, like have a war between Wakanda and Atlantis. They thought that would be a really cool thing. And I said that is actually pretty interesting.
What would be the motivation?
I don't know that they've had a history with each other that we don't know about, or somebody's like encroaching.
Because I was like Wakanda, it doesn't use oil, so they're not messing up.
Yeah,
Like I'm like, they're landlocked. So
Yeah, that's my thing. Is like, well, I don't know why they would have a conflict if Wakanda's landlocked.
yeah, I'm sitting here like, so that makes no sense. Unless there was some real beef like the Atlanteans used to live on, and that's why they went to the sea, was that they used to live somewhere, I don't know, in Africa.
I think maybe they could do something where they have a history that we don't know about, like from centuries that there was no need to really mention in Black Panther.
But what if
But
they
there's a
Namor like, no, they wouldn't do it.
what?
Make him African too,
Oh, I thought that's what you're about to say.
and
Oh
have
yeah.
the Atlanteans be Africans, but like they had to go to the sea because of like something that happened, and basically they created their own society because they were kind of Wakandans actually. Like
Mm.
they both were fighting over the vibranium or something,
Hmm.
and Wakanda established its ground there, but the Atlanteans still had a lot of that technology, and they still have a lot of vibranium.
That
But
could
they
be
had
interesting. That could be really cool.
and they discovered something else maybe in the sea, and that's how they built this wonderful magic kingdom, and then they evolve like, or they not even, they don't have to evolve, it could be technology that they create
Hmm.
that allows them all to exist and like adapt to water like that.
That's interesting.
Because I'm like, I mean, if they want it that bad to have Namor in then you got to be creative. But
Yeah, I think actually it's not bad to introduce Namor into a movie like that instead of just starting with his own movie, because you could do that because Aquaman will have come out and people are automatically are going to say, you know, it's like Aquaman,
yeah,
because this is one of the few times where DC's hitting first before Marvel. Um,
yeah,
so that might bring some trouble. But I think it could be interesting if they have like you were saying, maybe he's an African, or maybe they just have a history, and maybe they're working out some deal, and we've had conflict for centuries, a millennia maybe even, and now we're signing a treaty because Wakanda's sort of opening itself up to the world. We're
yeah.
signing a treaty, and then maybe like one of the Atlantean princes or Wakandan princes or something, or some royalty or whatever gets assassinated or something,
That'd be cool.
and
What if there was a romance too?
between like Shuri and maybe one of
Oh,
the
like somebody that they try to steal Wakanda. Like somebody tries to infiltrate, and like somebody tries to basically maneuver their way into Wakandan royalty.
mm.
And I don't know, like yeah, something goes wrong, like how the Wonder Woman and Aquaman, like they sleep together, and then she kills his wife because his wife finds out, and blah blah. Blah.
Yeah,
And, like
yeah.
and like that, like I mean, that would be some like soap opera drama, but
They could do like a shake, because Black Panther itself is kind of Shakespearean. So they could do something sort of Shakespearean with it. I think they could do something really interesting by making and Namor is the villain in the same way that Iron Man's the villain in Civil War. Like
yeah,
he's not evil. He's just the antagonist to the hero.
they're both the villain to each other.
Yeah, that could be interesting. At first when I had heard that, I was like, I don't know about Namor with Wakanda, but now that we've kind of worked this out a little bit, there's some interesting stuff that you could do instead of just giving him his own movie.
Yeah,
That could be cool. I think that could be really
I
cool.
wonder if it is it like I wonder if they just can't call it Namor.
I think Universal has like the distributive kind of, Universal has the distributing rights to Hulk.
Yeah,
And I
like
think they also do to Namor. And it's something Marvel can make the movie, but Universal distributes it. And
didn't
Marvel's not.
Paramount used to distribute Thor or something? Like I feel like there was an
Paramount distributed a lot of the early ones. Iron
yeah, I
Man.
thought it was like somebody else was distributing until Marvel like took control of all of it.
Yeah. I think that happened like in 2011, because 2012 and the first Avengers is the first Disney Marvel movie.
Yeah,
So
because
it must have happened at the end of 2011 or something.
I was always wondering like if there was a way that they could release a Hulk movie without if they just didn't call it, if it was about something else, but it was
Well, they could. I mean, they kind of could do that. Yeah.
because I was like, what if it was like I don't know, like make a movie about Atlantis?
Mm.
Namor is, I mean, I don't know. There has to be like I don't know anything. Don't know. I have not studied him at all, so I don't know anything about him. But like, so I don't have any ideas. But I'm like, if it was simply the name Namor, that like I don't know, because I think just putting because I'm like, what's the real rights? Does he just can't be the main character?
I see. I don't know how you work that out exactly
That's
because
I'm like
like
so
there was no problem with Thor Ragnarok with Hulk being in there.
because I feel like those deals were made when like the name Hulk was really really valuable compared to the other
Mhm.
ones, and like I feel like is it the name that they would have to distribute if it has his name in it? Because I'm like the name Namor sounds ugly, so
Yeah, like what if they had like a team up movie, like you were saying, like with Black Panther, and it's like equally as much his movie. Although
yeah.
I wouldn't want that for a Black Panther sequel. I want that to be Black Panther's
I'm
movie.
low key like
But
with on the fact that like Atlantis could actually kind of be like I feel like could sustain several movies. Like
yeah,
stuff about Atlantis is so like that's completely different from anything else in Marvel. Like I'm like
hmm
the concept of using Atlantis is genius.
yeah,
Like we haven't even under we have water is so undis like imagine the visuals of
hmm
like these creatures that we think don't exist anymore. These people interact with on a daily. Oh, that's
yeah.
my pet, my megalodon. That's my pet. Like or
Well, it
like
does exist still.
yeah, we eat giant squid. That's our sushi down here. Like I'm just thinking like there's so many. I mean like funny things that could happen too. When
Yeah,
like I can imagine some of the Avengers going underwater like that. It'd be like what the
yeah.
oh
And I think could be like Wakanda to me almost seems like an uh, land version of Atlantis.
yeah, like of
Like
advanced hidden away kingdom.
like out of this world doesn't it almost feels like it belongs on an alien planet because it's so weird and advanced, but
Yeah,
it's on Earth, just like Atlantis, and that's why part of the reason why they have their rivalry.
yeah,
Um, and they could really come up with like a thing like they've had this infighting and rivalry for thousands of years, but now Wakanda's trying to send an olive branch because they're opening themselves up to the world, and maybe not an assassination because they kind of already did that with Civil War, but maybe like you were saying, someone trying to infiltrate the royal family, like they have a wedding, be Shuri or I don't know, someone
yeah,
if somebody wants to marry, uh, or maybe it could be interesting where like Nakia is like undercover,
yeah.
because she's a spy
She goes to
and she
Atlanta.
has to, yeah,
Oh, oh.
and that I don't know how far she's willing to go go undercover, like she's willing to marry a prince or something just to get intel on the person. I don't know, that could be interesting.
I feel like there has to be something that Wakanda like is the like there's something against their interest. Claw is dead. I
Yeah.
think there has to be something that's against Wakanda's interest that Atlantis, if they had a feud that Atlantis is now holding or housing or like cultivating
hmm
in order to like, or maybe they had a feud like yeah, what I was saying, like they used to fight over the vibranium, or they used to,
Yeah.
or there's or like I didn't want to do it because I was like, nah, black people, we don't need no Wakanda's banging, we don't need to be thieves. Like that like Wakanda actually stole that land.
Oh no, no, don't do that. That will not. No.
Yeah, and the Atlanteans were the original ones there. Or
hmm
like I was like, oh snap, because I feel like Atlantean things are always like they were driven to the water. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the whole idea of Atlantis. Like the whole mythos of it is kind of that it kind of just either they were driven or it just kind of sunk, and it just kind of happened. Like it
yeah,
was not. Yeah, like these were originally humans, and then somehow they
that's what I'm thinking. I'm
got
like,
gills.
I want to got gills. I like I don't know. I think there's just some. I don't even know how we got on this like this far of a tangent, but
Yeah, we'll get back to Avengers soon enough, but this has gotten really interesting.
yeah, but like I'm just thinking there really just has to be good motivation if they want to introduce them with Black Panther. Like, because I'm like I can't think of anything like super hard right now, but
Yeah.
give me like one day I'll wake up from my sleep and have the whole movie in my head.
Well, I thought of I mean, I thought of a cool thing you could do with Black Panther and Spider-Man. I mean, Marvel said they want to do more team up movies because it's kind of getting hard to however hard it was after the first Avengers, it's like incredibly hard at this point
Solo
to
movies.
have the movies and the TV shows themselves. Like, how are you going to have Luke Cage and not have him have Jessica Jones or Daredevil for a second? Or how are you going to have Spider-Man and not have this person. I mean, it's kind of getting ridiculous that you couldn't have that nobody else is helping. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that they just have to do more team up stuff, which I'm fine with because that's kind of how comics are. And I'm fine with solo outings, but if you do solo outings, it kind of has to be small.
Yeah, it really does, because it can't be something that like I mean, I think at least with Wakanda, that might be fine.
Wakanda Wakanda and Atlantis have like that get out of jail free card where they were isolated anyway. So
Thor, a little bit, but I feel like he kind of forgot about the other half of the people.
Yeah, Thor did for a while, and it'll be interesting to see if he like moves Asgard to Earth or something.
Because I'm thinking like they did confirm that Valkyrie is alive.
Yeah, and Korg and Meek are still around. I think.
So where are they?
They must have taken one of those ships out, and who knows where they went to. I mean, maybe.
I was gonna say maybe they went to like the Nova base, but I feel wasn't that destroyed?
Yeah, Xandar, that was destroyed.
Dang! So what happened to the Nova Corps?
Who knows what I mean, maybe they'll move Asgard to like. It could be cool if they like moved it to that the moon off or Europa, the moon for one of the Jupiter's moons or something, or like that could be interesting where they just kind of because that's what. That's the big point that they were making in Thor Ragnarok. Asgard is not a place; it's a people. So it doesn't really matter where it is. I mean, in the comics, Asgard has been in Texas. So who knows? I mean, I feel like if that really wanted to happen, that would really piss people off.
Yeah, that would be.
You're going to bring these literal illegal aliens to our country to build. If they didn't want Mexicans and Guatemalans settling, they definitely are not going to be happy with Asgardians, literal aliens coming.
The Trump jokes could be so funny.
Yes. Build a wall. We need a force field around this planet.
Yeah, but then watch it because a lot of the Asgardians are white. They'd be like, no, they're okay.
Yeah, they killed Heimdall. But
oh my God, that'd be such a funny scene. We see like people who they allude to be Trump supporters or something, or like somebody who just when they see the ships coming down, they're like, no, send it back home, blah, blah, blah. As soon as they step out the ship and they're white, oh, okay. Like, oh, okay, well, they're not that bad. They look cool.
Yeah. They see Valkyrie and they're oh, no, but
no. She's your leader? Send it back.
Yeah. But yeah, who knows what they'll do with that exactly? But I don't know. What were you about to say? You were about to say something.
Oh no, I already forgot.
Oh, but I don't even remember how we got to the Black Panther.
Yeah, back to Infinity War. Let's.
Yeah, I don't know where we left off with that, but I was just gonna
talking about Vision.
Yeah, before that, I just wanted to say like the thing I liked about the Loki death scene is like when Thanos kills Loki, he says no more resurrections, and that. To me, there's two things you could take away from that, and that's kind of going back to the Thanos isn't a god, and like, he might have all this power, but he's not going to bring these people back.
Yeah.
Even though he could, he's like, no more resurrections. And I'm not a merciful god. I'm Thanos, but I'm the Mad Titan. But in another sense, maybe we're gonna have to come. Maybe I don't think it's going to happen. But what if they were just like. No, Thanos was right. No more resurrections. That was us talking to the audience. All of these characters that died are dead. I don't think that's the case, but that would just be interesting. They could, if that did happen, and they went back and they point us to that line.
Yeah,
like that line at the beginning of The Force Awakens, where I think Max von Sydow says something like, "We're going to try to fix everything," and it was basically he was talking about the prequels. And who knows? I mean, that would be interesting if they're just like, hey, we told you at the beginning of the movie. This was the end.
Huh. I mean, I don't know. Ryan Coogler, they did say that Kevin Feige said there is no movie plan until Ryan Coogler says so.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, wait. Because I was like, ooh. Wow, because what if he just has to?
Well, and then you get those comments about he wants like a movie led with the Wakandan women.
Yeah.
And then Doctor Strange 2 hasn't been confirmed. And then I don't know how they're going to market Spider-Man because Spider-Man, which I'm hearing is called Spider-Man Field Trip, because it's largely going to take place in Europe. in places like London.
Yeah, yeah.
That I'm hearing that's called Field Trip, and I don't know how they're going to market that because that comes out 2 months after Avengers 4. So either you're going to have to like not show Spider-Man's without his mask on the whole time and not have him talk. That way you could maybe have the thought maybe it's Miles Morales or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
I think
I don't know what you would do.
Well, do you think they're not going to bring everybody back?
Say that again?
You think that they're not going to bring everybody back?
I think they will, but I think just from I don't think they want to spoil the movie. I think they still want to have a little bit of, oh, maybe he did die.
Oh, do you mean the trailers?
Yeah, the trailers for Spider. Because I mean, if a movie's coming out 2 months, just 2 months after one movie, well, that means their trailers are going to be overlapping.
You know, Disney's been doing this weird thing. They've been waiting to the last second to release promotional stuff.
Well, yeah, some movies they kind of pick and choose.
Yeah, I'm like, why in the world did they wait that long? But I'm thinking like something cool because I thought you were talking about like I thought you were gonna say like after Peter Parker was dead, like how is he just gonna come back to being Spider-Man so quickly?
Oh no.
And I was like, well,
that's also interesting
because I was like, what if they really just go back in time, change something, and then they go back in time, they change something, but when they come back, those people don't remember dying. Like they, you know, they exist still, and the only people that are going to remember like that experience is the people who survived. Like, because I feel like that would be really like weird too, if like only like Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, like the original Avengers are the ones that remember all of the change.
Yeah, I definitely want the people who are alive to remember it because that makes it like more heartbreaking.
Yeah, I don't want them to forget. I don't want anybody alive to forget. I was thinking that'd be because I feel like it would also make them like I don't know, like it would change them that they went through all this to bring them back to, and then like if Tony's the one that uses the gauntlet, like imagine how much that'll like change his perspective on humanity and our like potential. Because he's really been like, he is the one. Like he was fighting an alien. I mean,
Tony Stark really showed off fighting Thanos. I mean, I know Thanos impaled him, and at that point, my eyes started watering.
But he was fighting somebody that he beat the Hulk up with ease. like Tony Stark is the most based Avenger of. I don't care what anybody says. He is better. Okay.
That's why we've been following him for 10 years.
I feel about this way about Iron Man that some people feel about Batman. I don't feel that way about Batman, but Iron Man, like I really feel like I just believe that like he's that one person. Like yes, that could be us because it's realistic. I feel like because he has this suit, and like this is exactly how we would cope with that. Is that we when trouble calls, like we come up with a solution. And that's just how it has to be sometimes. We can't always predict what's going to happen, or like we're not equipped with all of the answers, but you come up with the answer. And the answer is his Iron Man suit and his nanotechnology that could heal him. Like he's showing like humanity, we evolve and we progress and do all these things. I'm like, this is why Iron Man is so awesome. Like he's cool. That sounds like the most basic like compliment, but this dude is so cool.
Well, he's a pure representation of us because we've seen him fall these last 10 years. He's a jerk and a douche and a womanizer and all these things, and he's horrible. But he's sort of, he changes. He has a better perspective. But even when he changes at the end of Iron Man, he doesn't become a good person after that. He's still a jerk and a douche. And he's just a better jerk and a douche who's like helps some people who realizes because I watched the first Iron Man a couple months ago, and there was a line that Jensen says to him before he dies in that cave, and he says. And I had forgotten it, but he said, "Don't waste your life." And I think that line is so powerful to this character these last 10 years, 11 years next year when Avengers 4 comes out. I think that's like a line that we may even have a flashback to or something that kind of sticks back in his mind. Like, don't waste your life. And I think he's always growing, and he's always making mistakes with Ultron, and he's always making mistakes with. When he tried to kill Bucky and all of that. And he kind of becomes the villain for a second. And I don't know. I think he's really a really interesting character, a lot of growth.
Yeah.
Pretty well written.
That's what I'm saying. Even yeah, from the very beginning, like
Yeah.
the original Iron Man movie holds up in every way, even the CGI.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sitting here like I was watching it, yeah, like a few months ago actually, and I was just like, this movie really holds up. Like it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
The comedy is so. It's funny because I feel like sometimes the comedy can get stale, and I thought it was just because we keep seeing it over and over again. No, but like the comedy, the original Iron Man is genuinely like perfectly timed, funny,
Yeah.
like fresh. It still feels fresh, even though we see it in literally every Marvel movie.
Well, and
But
I think his comedy is kind of unique.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's different. Like
Yeah.
it's so natural.
Yeah, he's snarky. He's I don't know what the word is. There's a cadence to the way he talks that's like different than like Guardians and Ant-Man have comedy too, but that's like a totally different type of comedy. Like I like Ant-Man, but Ant-Man has a much more generic type.
Yeah,
Um, Iron Man, I remember seeing that. Like, I think part of the reason why that's my favorite MCU movie is because I saw it was the first one, and I saw it when I was 9 with my friends and in a packed theater with my papa, and that's part of the reason why it's my favorite. And I don't think anything will ever supersede it just because of that. But I think it's also generally a special movie. So
yeah, I
I don't
agree.
know. But yeah, it'll be. I hope. I don't know. Do you think they kill Iron Man off in Avengers 4 or Cap off or?
For some reason, I really don't feel like they'll kill one or not the other. Because I feel like at this
You
point,
think?
like, the fans, or at least have made them like the same level of like, if one dies, I feel like the other one has to. It just won't even be the same to have one and not the other.
Hmm.
Because
I think if one of them dies, it's gonna be Cap.
yeah, I feel like he is more expendable, but at the same time, like I feel like the actual team members of the Avengers like respond to Cap more.
Yeah.
But like I feel like they respond so much better to him.
I
Because
mean, I
like,
think if either of them die, it's a horrible tragedy because with Cap, it's like he was always a man at a time and he never got that happy ending if he dies.
yeah,
And
I
if
mean,
Iron Man
a
dies,
soldier always a soldier though.
yeah,
Yeah, if Iron Man dies, it's he really never got to like he's finally gotten to the point like emotionally where he can I feel like handle loving Pepper
and
and like
having a kid.
yeah, dreaming wasn't didn't he say he dreamt about children? Like
Yeah, he was dreaming about her being pregnant.
yeah, so I'm sitting here like yo, like Iron Man has really that's huge. Like imagine him saying that in Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
I'm saying his character development that I'm way to go, Kevin Feige.
Yeah, I think
Like
if they killed him off, it's like to me, it feels like a lot of the MCU has been building up
yeah.
to his and not his like his death, but to his happy ending because he's always kind of trying to. For a while, he's been trying to get out of it. I
Yeah.
think the one time where there was a weird writing is where at the end of Iron Man 3 he says something along the lines of like, I don't necessarily need the suits or whatever, or I'll always be Iron Man. But it kind of seemed like he was done. And then Avengers 2, he was right back at it. So
And
it was like, I guess he was right about always being Iron Man. But it seems like he's always trying to get to that ending, that finish line.
and maybe that they're trying to make this dark point that like sometimes like yeah you don't get like you don't just get that happy ending,
Yeah.
especially being a hero.
Yeah.
Like I swear, yeah, being a hero sucks. Would it's really suck actually?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're always like if you decide to like retire, then you watch all these people die, and that's something you would have stopped.
Yeah.
And then, like, how can you honestly retire or ever take a break?
Mm-hmm.
People start to depend on you to be this global hero, and now that you've retired, like it's just there's just not enough anymore.
And every fight could be your last.
Yeah, like you have to appreciate heroes so much more and like what it actually means to be a hero. That's why like well written superheroes are when you actually understand it. Like when you
Mm-hmm.
understand like what we see, what people who really respond well to comics and characters like this, what they see past it being like all about flashy powers.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people who I think are sort of condescending and or automatically they see a superhero movie and they just kind of paint with a broad brush and say, oh, it's just another dumb fantasy crazy explosion CGI mess. And it's like there's really more to this if you pay attention.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, ugh, whatever.
It gets annoying because I feel like I feel like we've kind of moved on as a society. I thought we had moved on from that, but I still see people doing it.
Yeah, me too. And I know,
So,
but it's funny because Marvel is so popular, but I've actually seen people talk about Star Wars that way on Twitter. I've
mm-hmm.
actually seen several viral tweets about like, but I know so many people that have these huge Marvel fandoms, like, and people like shipping characters together. But then
Mm-hmm.
people will like, there's viral tweets like saying like, I have never seen a Star Wars movie and I absolutely never will. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
have no plans to ever watch one. Like, I've seen that same tweet go viral like 100 times.
Yeah.
And I remember I used to see like movies like people making fun of like Thor and like those like old types of things. And now that it's cool to like them, they're picking on Star Wars again.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's funny. Because Star Wars, I feel like could have been cool. I feel like the timing was just weird, but
I mean, I think Star Wars is cool. It's not as cool anymore.
yeah, like,
Obviously with Solo, but I think it was really cool when Force Awakens came out. Everybody was excited. That's why the movie made $2 billion. But then I think people were complaining about it being a rehash of A New Hope,
yeah,
which to me was like, yeah, so what? I had a lot of fun with it with Force Awakens. I know a lot of people were complaining about it, but I had a lot of fun with it.
I,
It wasn't anything. It didn't have this amazing, unique, interesting story which took the characters in places I didn't expect. That was The Last Jedi for me, but they did that, and fans didn't respond to that well either. And then I don't know.
I think that changing the director might have been more jarring than they expected. I don't know because it did also. Sometimes I really do feel like I like. It's funny because I like the Force Awakens and I like the Last Jedi. I don't like them as continuations. I don't
Yeah,
like.
they look. I mean, they even look kind of different.
Yeah, I'm like I don't like them as. Yeah, I don't like them as being related to each. But I like them separate. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like because I'm like J.J. Abrams. I really feel like his touch was actually perfect for the Star Wars. As in,
Mm-hmm.
I remember the Force Awakens has so many moments that are like fun, fun, fun. Like I remember seeing that like the Millennium Falcon flying in that trailer.
Oh yeah.
And like even watching that scene over and over again on the TV, like with the speakers all the way up, that's still like awesome, awesome. Like I still get goosebumps like when I see it.
Oh yeah, I remember when the first teaser trailer came out. Remember that first little short teaser trailer?
Yeah,
I watched that a billion times. That the day it came out.
Yeah, and
like
thing, like I feel like that's the tone they should have stayed with. For I mean, like it wasn't broken. I mean, I do love like the Last Jedi is so ambitious too.
I think people liked the Force Awakens more than they were willing to admit.
Yeah, and
that's why Last Jedi was so jarring to some people.
So who's directing the third one in episode 9?
J.J. Abrams again.
Okay, good.
It was originally it was the Jurassic World director Colin Trevorrow.
Yeah, do you think J.J. Abrams back because like, hey, come back and make another Force Awakens, another that feel?
Yeah, I forget when they announced him. They announced him before The Last Jedi came out, I believe. But so before they knew what was going to happen. Because, I mean, again, Last Jedi, I think they all assumed everybody was going to like it because most people did end up liking it. I mean, I think the critic rating is in the low 90s. So obviously, it's overwhelmingly a great approval, and I think it has an A cinema score. But there is that segment of like ultra nerds who don't like it, which I'm fine. We're ultra nerds in our own way, but I'm just saying that's not me trying to shame anyone. I'm just saying there's a segment of people like that.
Man, I was like gripping my chair when I saw that scene. I remember when Holdo turned around the.
Oh yeah,
and then like I was like, she is not about to kamikaze.
That scene was awesome.
I was like, because at first I didn't even know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Because like for a second there, you're like, wait, what? Did she go past it? And then you realize that the ship was like in half.
Yeah, and like showed you different angles of it.
Yeah, like I always wondered that. I always kind of wondered. I was like, why did like, man, that ship is about to go down. You know, the shields are low. Like, why don't you just crash it? They're gonna die anyway.
Someone made a good point though that they kind of because they killed off Admiral Akbar at the beginning, or not towards the beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
it would have been nice to have him do it.
Yeah,
and I was like, that could have been interesting because he is sort of there's a lore with him, and they kind of did just kill him. You know.
Yeah, I feel like that's why some people feel like that. So a lot of the characters have been disrespected because when they saw like Harrison Ford, Chewbacca, blah blah blah, and then we don't see Lando and all that, you know, like So I feel
Yeah.
like some people feel like they're disrespecting the source material because they didn't bring back everybody, and then like I don't know, and that everybody's not being treated the same way, that they killed somebody off without giving them this like grand like battle. Like it's funny, like I like Luke as a hero, but I never felt like he was. I don't know. I know he's supposed to be like an amazing fighter, but
Yeah.
I never really felt like he was. I don't
But we
know.
never really got to see it.
Yeah, that's why I said I was like, I mean, I guess you guys read all the books and stuff, but as far as my perspective, because I never liked like as a kid, I was always I don't know why like the Clone Wars TV show always made me love Anakin,
Mm.
and that's why I just don't even care about Luke that much because I was always focused on like Darth Vader and Anakin, like
Mm-hmm.
that journey, and Ahsoka and like Obi-Wan, and that like, that's who I really care about. And so when I
You
see
like
like,
that?
Luke,
Yeah.
that's why I felt nothing like the Last Jedi. I was like, oh, cool, okay.
Yeah. To me, I was. I don't know. I guess it's a certain perspective you have if you read all those novels and stuff. But we didn't really see that crazy Luke until Return of the Jedi, and even then we didn't see it that much.
Yeah,
But we saw it, sort of towards the beginning and towards the end. But we never really got to see that much of it unless you read the novels that aren't canon anymore, even.
yeah,
Um, so I don't know that it didn't bother me that much. Also, I didn't grow up in the 70s and 80s, so obviously, so I did that. It was different for me. I think you have a different perspective if you grew up in the 70s and 80s, and you actually had to endure that time period between 83 and 99, and you really like even though we lived between the time between Sith and Force Awakens, I don't know if we really like felt it like older people did.
yeah,
Like that was like for us it was like there was TV shows and stuff, and we were only 7 when or I was only 6 when Revenge of the Sith came out. So like I didn't have like I wasn't losing my mind because there hadn't been a Star Wars movie. I mean, I wanted one, but I wasn't I wasn't going to go crazy about it. But I think for older people who had to like endure all those long time periods, it was a way bigger deal for them. And so when that happens, and then you change their childhood hero, like I don't, maybe it would be a better example would be if in 30, 40 years they really change up Iron Man.
yeah,
Like they leave him alive, and then he comes back and he did some, but I don't. Maybe it would be because we were just talking about how Iron Man is so flawed, and I guess they sort of looked at Luke as almost like a Jesus Superman figure who's like perfect, which
yeah,
I can see where they were coming from with that. But I don't know. I kind of like the idea of like Kylo Ren says, killing your past. There's like you have to. The Lucasfilm Disney Lucasfilm is like kind of like we don't really care about your childhood or what your expectations of these heroes are. Um, Sometimes they die horribly. Sometimes they make mistakes. They weren't as perfect as you thought they were. There was a big gap between 1983 and 2015, and a lot has changed. I don't know.
yeah. I feel like I don't know. I really feel like yeah, they value the new over the old generation.
Hmm.
Because, I mean, we are going to be the future of the franchise. If they plan to have this going for, I feel like the younger kids are the ones that are buying the toys and merchandise and stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing. Maybe it's part of an alienation. Is like they're not. Maybe the feeling to some people is that they are not making these movies for people in their 40s and 50s, but they're making these people who are like under the age of 30
Yeah,
or under the age of 25, even
and
younger.
that might be like a sad reality to some.
Yeah, and that might really suck for some people. I would imagine that would be annoying if I remember seeing the first Star Wars when I was 6 in 1977. That maybe that would suck. And I think I've been kind of critical of some of these people, but I kind of see where some people are coming from. If it's like a legitimate thing, I kind of understand.
Yeah,
Um, but just as a fan of like character arcs, it was fun to see Luke change because I'm a fan of Luke too. I mean, obviously I didn't grow up with him, but I was a big fan of Luke, and I don't know. It was fun to see him falter. I like when they subvert your expectations.
hmm,
So I don't know, but some people are not as responsive to that depending on who it is.
yeah.
I guess that would be jarring if you're a 50-year-old guy. Yeah, I guess that would be.
So just quick question:
What?
how did we start talking about Star Wars?
How did we get into Star Wars?
Because I thought about it, I was like, weren't we just talking about the Avengers?
Yeah, why did we? Oh, and by the way, just since we were talking about Star Wars, I think Lando's going to be in Episode 9. Just by the way.
Okay, good. Because I was like, I feel like they owe it. Well, Carrie Fisher, yeah.
Well, because Billy D. Williams apparently is like on some health regimen right now, which is unusual for an 81-year-old man to be on.
Yeah,
usually he's not on. He doesn't do things really. I mean, he did Dancing with the Stars, but other than that, it's pretty clear he's going to be in Episode 9. Obviously, with the renewed popularity of the character based off the person who played him, the younger person who played him. So I think, yeah, it's pretty clear he'll be in Episode 9. I think he always was going to be in one of the movies. So at least one of the movies. So I think it makes sense. But yeah, so back to Avengers. I guess I don't know how we got to. Well, I still don't know how we got to Star Wars.
Well, I guess I can give my final thoughts because I can talk about Avengers probably for way too long for a video.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really did enjoy the movie. There were times that I really did question Thanos, especially after watching it for the first time. Yeah, I really did question him sometimes. I was like, I don't know. I understand his motivations, but sometimes I really did feel like he was doing a lot for. And I mean, little Gamora was right. What did it cost you?
Mm-hmm. Everything. I like that he's like, he's narcissistic.
Yeah, he really is. Yeah,
he really thinks
it's all about him, like that he has to save everybody, and it's all about him.
Yeah, there's a reason why Loki had to tell him he's not a god, because I think he subconsciously, even if he doesn't want to admit it, he kind of thinks he is.
Yeah,
because he's alienated from his own people, because his people look like humans. I don't know if you know, but the Eternals is what he is.
Yeah,
his people look like normal humans, and they're just they look like normal people. But he's like this purple guy with the weird chin, and he's large, and he's a mutant. Because mutants aren't just humans, but he's like an eternal version of a mutant. So there is a sense of he's a god.
Maybe he'll join X-Force.
Yeah, he just. Well, I don't want to. I almost spoiled something that happened in that movie. I don't want to spoil it for the people. I guess.
Yeah, I guess that one did just come out.
Yeah, although I don't think that many more people who haven't seen it are dying to see it at this point.
Yeah, to be honest.
Infinity War is really kind of. Infinity War, I think, has kind of sucked some. Because it's still making so much. It's almost at $1 billion or at $2 billion.
Yeah. So, okay, spoiler alert for Deadpool 2. Spoiler. I don't remember seeing, was Juggernaut in any trailers, or was that supposed to be a surprise?
It was a surprise. He wasn't in anything.
Okay. Because I remember being like, "Oh my god, is that Juggernaut?" And everybody in the theater, like this guy next to me, was like, "I think so." Because funny, I found this like nerd movie theater. Like it's a normal movie theater, but it's a comic book store and a record store too.
A record store and a comic store and a theater, you said?
Yes. And they serve food. Like they had vegan cauliflower, vegan buffalo cauliflower bites. And with this vegan ranch.
What's the name of this place? Is it only in North Carolina?
Or something like that?
Oh, I've heard of that place.
Yeah, it's amazing. The one in Raleigh is amazing.
But I didn't know they had comics and.
Yes, it's a whole comic book store, and they had like toys and merchandise and stuff like that. And then they had the whole music section. They were playing like music when you walk in, like there were people sitting down just listening to records play. And then the bathrooms are really cool. Like this said, it's such a random thing for me to say, but every single bathroom, like there's like 20 bathrooms.
Oh.
And because they don't have it's not like a big communal bathroom. They separate every toilet, sink, and trash can and paper towels into a room. So there's like 20 different. It's like a big hallway of bathrooms.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's really cool though. I actually loved like the way that was. I was like, I kind of wanted a private bathroom. I liked it.
Yeah.
And then the food was really, really, really good.
Really?
A little expensive, but it was good.
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't. Yeah.
I mean, I was full though. I got a lot of cauliflower for $8. Of course, a whole head of cauliflower and the stuff to make it is cheaper, but I'm not bitter.
I thought all of the Alamo I think or the Alamo Draft House or something like that.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah.
I thought they were all like in like the Southwest, like California, Texas, that area.
We have one.
Huh.
Yeah, it's amazing. I went in there and I was just like, how have I never heard of this? And I remember no matter what I said, this dude who was sitting next to me, like him and his friends were all like equally as well versed in comics. And like, I was saying, we were just talking about like random stuff, and he would jump into my conversation. I was like, feel free, because some people get offended by that, and I'm just like, no, this dude was excited enough like about what I'm talking about. Like,
well, yeah, because it was always like people would like sometimes we would talk about nerd stuff, and a lot of times people don't know. So it's kind of fun when people do know what you're talking about.
Not by people. And yeah, that's one experience. Like, I'm not going to a movie theater that isn't that theater if I'm in this city. That is my new theater, and it's literally maybe 15 minutes from my house.
Oh, that's a good distance.
It's actually the closest. It's funny. It's the closest movie theater.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, they have you set.
They sure do, because I'm about to buy a gift card there too. I'm about to get one. I'm about to get my parents to get me one somehow for Christmas or something.
You don't have a movie pass, right? Because I hear movie pass is about to go under.
No, I don't have one.
I always thought about getting like a Cinemia card, but apparently movie pass is like not gonna be lasting much longer.
Yeah, I didn't think it would.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's one of those kind of too good to be true things, and
it might catch on later.
Was too good to be true.
It might catch on later when they figure out how to like with money.
Yeah. Well, it looks like Cinemia, which is kind of their main competitor, kind of knows what it's doing, and it's not having the issues. So,
yeah.
But Movie Pass just gets more press. I guess more people signed up to it. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, Movie Pass sounds really like cool. Movie Pass.
Yeah, Cinemia is kind of.
Yeah.
Also, it didn't take advantage of the fact. I think Cinemia is spelled with an S. But why isn't that spelled with the? Why isn't it spelled Cinemia like cinema? Why is that?
Yeah.
That was bizarre to me. I don't know.
They just wanted to be cool and
hipster. So yeah, did you have any final thoughts on Infinity War, or your thoughts about Avengers 4, or theories, or?
Avengers 4 is going to be awesome. Infinity War was awesome. Captain Marvel is going to be awesome. Aquaman's going to be awesome. Unrelated, but yeah, Aquaman's going to be awesome. I swear, I just feel it's going to be awesome.
I really hope so. I'm waiting a trailer because I know the movie doesn't come out until like December, but I don't know. I feel like we should get a trailer soon.
Yeah.
Like, I know we're still 6 months out, but like usually for like a big movie like this, especially after coming off of Justice League, they're going to want to like, show like, hey, we still know how to, make movies.
For some reason, I feel really good about Shazam too.
I mean, we've heard more from Shazam than we have from Aquaman. Which is weird.
When I saw that art for Shazam, I thought it was so funny.
Mm-hmm. With him drinking.
Yeah, him drinking out of that cup. I thought that was hilarious.
It seems like they have a good approach to it.
Yeah, because I'm like, at least they know it's going to be like, it's good that they know, that which ones to take silly.
Mm-hmm.
But I wish that they would have done that, correctly. Like, Superman can be serious. Yeah, Batman can be serious. Wonder Woman, she is serious, but she has the capacity, I feel like, for comedy more than Superman and Batman. But
because like it's also ridiculous, kind of.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel like, I don't know. There was Justice League is mad corny. Like, I believe in truth, or I believe in justice, something like that. Like, this guy's still bothering you? Oh my God.
And I believe this movie won't make $1 billion.
That's what I said. What kind of video game dialogue? I mean, even Wonder Woman had a little bit of video game dialogue. Then I will destroy you.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you're gonna destroy her. We get it.
Yeah, I hope DC figures it out, because with Suicide Squad they tried the funny stuff.
Yeah.
Because they did all those reshoots, like, and it was like with the company who cut their first trailer, which the trailer was serious. So I don't know.
Honestly, that movie could have been so good.
Yeah, I remember I was so excited. That was, my two most anticipated movies for 2016 were Batman vs Superman and Suicide Squad.
Well, yeah, because they both are. Those would both be like I swear, Batman vs Superman felt like Infinity War level hype. Like if Man of Steel was really good, I bet Batman vs Superman would have made like well over $1 billion because it made 800 million and it was garbage.
Yeah.
So, like it
made that much money
to be
and
bad.
Suicide Squad made over 700 million somehow.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, these movies, if DC was if they wouldn't have already blown their brand name, then they would be making $1 billion from the start. Like,
yeah,
even Man of Steel started off $668 million.
There's no reason that Justice League shouldn't have made it.
Isn't that the lowest grossing movie?
The lowest one, and it was supposed to be you have everybody in it, and it was the lowest one. That's pathetic.
I don't even know how they like plan to bounce back. Because even at this point, I'm like reluctant to go see another Justice League. I'm still excited for Aquaman.
Yeah. It made $657 million.
That's really sad.
I mean, for most movies, you'd be like, oh, pretty good. That's pathetic.
Yeah.
Let's look up how much Doctor Strange made. Doctor Strange made 677.7. A character that nobody had heard of prior to his trailer.
Made more money
than Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Aquaman, and Cyborg in a movie.
The fact that it made more than Batman alone.
Yes. Yeah. The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, which are both in the $1 billion club.
Something ain't right.
Made more.
Something ain't right.
I don't like beating up on DC, but sometimes they need some beating up because that's pathetic.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Black Panther made $1.3 billion.
They need to drain the swamp, okay?
Yeah.
Everybody has to be kicked. Everybody has to be out. I'm sorry, like clearance sale. That's how many people need to get fired. Like we're liquidating. Like everything must go. Like that type of stuff. Like, you're fired. You're fired. You too. Oh, assistant.
Yeah, really.
Like I would literally, if at that point,
and the budget was $300 million.
That's terrible.
Because all the reshoots.
Yeah. How does
Oh God.
Marvel always manages, I feel like they have smaller budgets and they manage to
Well, depends on the Infinity War, I think was $300 million also.
Yeah, but Infinity War. Imagine that. They paid all those actors, did all that stuff. Like
yeah, and think about it. Infinity War cost as much as Justice League and had way better CGI.
Yeah.
Just to think about how Steppenwolf's lips. Steppenwolf, who looks like a human, basically.
I don't even think Steppenwolf was I really do believe that they changed the villain to Steppenwolf at the last minute.
Oh, you think it was? Who did you think it was at first?
Because Zack Snyder, have you not seen him been on that little messaging board thing?
Oh, I saw there was a thing of Darkseid. I don't know if that was him though.
Yeah, there's Steppenwolf was not supposed to be the only player in the movie. Like he was supposed to be an agent, so he was supposed to be kind of generic, as he was literally just a servant of Darkseid. Like he was supposed.
That's how I always pictured him. Is that that's what he was. He was a herald.
That's why I'm like, when trying to make him the main villain was stupid because who cares about Steppenwolf? Except for there's one scene that I don't know why I love it, the way that the Amazon when Steppenwolf comes in, she's like Steppenwolf. Do you know what I'm talking about?
When he first comes to
when he boom tubes into the little room and take for the box.
Oh, does Hippolyta say Steppenwolf or something?
No, it's the Black Amazon. Just go Steppenwolf. And I just love that. I don't know, just that was a good line because it established history.
Mm-hmm.
Without them even having to show anything, that they knew who he was and they had been prepared for him basically.
Oh well, the coolest scene was the flashback. Remember with the Green Lanterns and the some Greek gods, I think, and I don't know. My memory's a little. I only saw the movie once, but forgetting everything. But that was a cool scene.
The script was just trying to throw things in there. Oh, you were made of her. The old gods died. Like video game cutscene dialogue.
Yeah.
Okay, we get it. Diana is of the old gods. Explain that then, please. If it's that important for you to say it in the middle of a fight. Explain it then. Please.
Because
the new gods, I feel like, DC, you have so much potential.
Ava DuVernay movie?
What?
The Ava DuVernay movie.
Yeah, that's not ever gonna come out. But
oh, you don't think it's gonna?
Yeah, after A Wrinkle in Garbage.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's not coming out. They got her to do that because it probably cost $1.50 at this point to get her to write anything. But
Yeah, I hope she fixes what she's doing because I really like Selma.
yeah, I think her career is about has hit a snag.
Yeah, it has.
It's quiet for her,
It's
but
unfortunate.
it is. But yeah, you got to be quicker than that. I'm sorry, you got to be better.
Well, I think she shouldn't have jumped from Selma to. She did Selma and then that documentary, the 13th, and then did Wrinkle in Time. I don't. Where's that coming from?
Yeah, it did seem really random.
It was weird.
I mean, that was Disney taking a calculated risk on her too.
And then they really lost that risk.
They really did.
I mean, Disney has won so much just with 2 movies this year that we forget like some of the L's they've taken.
I'm
With,
actually
Deadpool, or not Deadpool, with Solo and with Wrinkle in Time, which I had totally forgotten about.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Nobody even remembered that. Like I remember all the trailers came out. I said this movie looks terrible.
Yeah.
And other people were like, I think it looks kind of cool, and I was like, oh, well then none of you guys saw it. I was like, see, it looked terrible from the beginning.
Yeah.
I was like, ugh. The costumes look terrible and corny. I was like, this just looks, ugh. I don't know. But what was I saying? But like the New Gods, I really felt like that actually had so much potential to be something super cool and unique.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, of course, if Thor Ragnarok didn't already exist and they used that type of like style, like Taika Waititi.
Oh, you would like them to use that type of style?
Yeah, for the New Gods, absolutely. Orion would be hilarious in that. Orion trolling Darkseid.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm pretty sure there was like this one time where Orion like knew that Darkseid couldn't touch him, so he sent in ships just to get Darkseid to send stuff out just so that he could destroy his army. Like they troll each other. Like I'm saying, it would be so funny. Like the New Gods are hilarious because they're not like, only some of them take themselves seriously as gods, and the other ones are just like, yeah, we're powerful. We don't call ourselves gods though. But like Darkseid and Steppenwolf and them are like, we're new gods. And I think it would just be, I don't know, that they really missed out because that Justice League Dark, like I would have a very different DCEU because Marvel's already doing some stuff, and I'm like, listen, just these other little teams can be hard too. And don't say, oh, that's not gonna work out. Marvel keeps doing it over and over again. Shut up. Over and over again, they introduce a new property. They can do it. They keep proving that you're just boring and ugly if you can't. Like, I'm sorry. Like at this point, there's really just not an excuse. And Marvel can literally throw in new characters and make them like $1 billion, and they're following the right trends. Like Black people have been getting this like huge sense of like not nationalism, but like this like Black unity, and it's been growing on like social media. Black Panther happened to come out right at the right time.
Yeah, and it took it. I remember if you recall, people were saying after Wonder Woman, they were like, man, Black Panther will kind of have that effect, and then people would be like, well, it's not going to be as crazy as Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
or were they wrong? That's
what I'm saying. Like Marvel just seems to know. Like even Wonder Woman was perfect too for this like women's movement. Like,
oh yeah,
like that was like that was one time that DC really like did it. They put out a good movie and one that was relevant. Like I feel like, oh my god, there's just so much stuff that like this could be. There's no reason why why there can't be 2 companies that are affluent. Like I'm just like, why couldn't they just both be putting out incredible movies? Like I would love to have genuine debates on like whose movies are better because they're both so good.
I guess it just shows you how hard it is to make a good movie because because Marvel makes it look so easy, but then DC makes it look so hard. And like I don't know.
Maybe they need to hijack some executives.
Yeah, they need for one, they need a Kevin Feige. They need a vision.
Yeah, but at this point, I really feel like they think that that they're just bleeding money because they're like, oh my god, every second that we're not like announcing something that like they're just gonna forget about DC Comics because I really feel like they've done damage to their brand.
They've done damage to the credibility of some of these characters.
Like I really feel like Superman is not cool anymore.
Yeah. Well, because they were already kind of fighting an uphill battle because that's like been a feeling that people have had that he's like overpowered and they're bored with him for years. And
Yeah,
then they came out with Man of Steel, and I think that pissed more people off. I liked Man of Steel a lot, but
I love it.
clearly a lot of people that rubbed them the wrong way for whatever reason, for a number of reasons.
Yeah, it's funny. Like on Man of Steel, I literally like love. I go hard for that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like people don't even realize like how much I love it. I cried the last time I watched it.
That's why every time,
Like I really tear up when he's
movies.
when that like accidental scene where he looks like Christopher Reeves. Like
Mhm.
oh my god, when I see that, I'm always like.
Oh, yeah, that was an emotional scene.
And then the scene where he's in the closet with his mom, and she's outside and she's like talking him out.
Oh yeah,
That scene gets to me too because I'm like, dang, like I don't know, like there's just something about like a mother trying to like comfort her son, and I don't know, like that scene was really well done for me because he was like having a whole meltdown, and his mother, like perfect, just knew what to say, and like
mm-hmm.
she's harboring an alien child, and like she's like he could, I don't know, like what's happening to him, you know?
Yeah,
Like I don't like. I'm just thinking about all of the things that go on, and then Jonathan Kent. Yes, like the way he died was kind of stupid, but at the same time, like the lengths that parents are willing to go to make sure that like their children don't have to,
safe.
yeah, like don't have to go through it. Like they're safe. He doesn't have to have strife and fight and hide his whole life until he's ready to accept like like not who he is, but like accept the consequences of like being an alien. You know?
Yeah,
And what I'm saying is like, yeah, he didn't have to die like that. Superman could have saved him, blah, blah, blah. But that's not what he wanted. Like Clark knew that his life would like that he would not be like he was a teenager. Think about that. When you were 15, would you have wanted to fit in at school? You were already being bullied, or would you have wanted to like would you have wanted friends, or would you have wanted to like randomly be some alien with powers? And
mm-hmm.
like people think like, oh well, yeah, I'd be a superhero. That to really think about the ramifications of being a superhero. Like it's not glamorous.
Yeah,
You're really risking your life like every single time you go and help somebody.
mm-hmm.
So what I'm
And he
saying is
didn't know
like,
like maybe the extent of his powers even.
yeah, like I mean, I understand that there are issues, but I feel like there are issues with the way that the movie was made, maybe or like the script. But I feel like the intention and the idea and like the actual like I could go on and on about how much I love Man of Steel.
Well, I think largely the execution is pretty good. I have some
Yeah,
issues with
that's
it.
what I'm like. Is it because I see beyond the what's there? I don't know because I'm like this is good to me. This is fine.
Yeah,
Batman
most
vs
of my
Superman.
problems with it were pretty small.
Yeah, like I knew the other movies were garbage. Like those are. I was like, wow, that movie was terrible. But then even with Batman vs Superman, I said that movie was garbage, but it really did have some like good material like hidden in it.
Yeah,
And
which made it all
I
the
think
work.
sometimes
That
Zack
made it
Snyder
worse.
gets caught up in trying to be ambitious rather than to make a movie that's solid.
Yeah, because
Like he's somebody because I know like I was been reading this like these like books actually about like people who are very wealthy, and they talk about like I think it was Warren Buffett who said that like being the thing about being rich, it was that you don't get rich by making safe decisions.
yeah,
You have to make a decision like where you could lose it all.
yeah, you kind of have to be like a megalomaniac a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So what I'm saying is like Zack Snyder, I feel like he's one of those people that's like willing to lose it all to make a terrible movie.
yeah,
In but in his head, like he's like, oh my god, these ideas are amazing. But sometimes I just think it doesn't come out the right way, and it might,
yeah.
yeah, it doesn't come out the right way, and it gets a little long winded sometimes. And then when he has to chop up a 3.5 hour movie into 2 hours, it's like, why? First of all, why did you guys approve that script? But
Yeah.
if it was that long, don't ask him to make that movie, film that whole movie, and then you ask him to chop half of it out. What kind of waste of money? But anyways, like I just think that there are some real like I don't know, Zack Snyder, I just feel like he has real vision. It's just yeah, he just doesn't know how to get there sometimes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like this style over substance sometimes. Like he's very stylized. He has that. Visually he's pretty good, but then
And
he'll come up with these interesting ideas like you were saying, but he just doesn't he hasn't been since Man of Steel hasn't been found a way to really
yeah. And
execute them well.
I don't think he understands small moments.
Mm.
one thing I noticed about like a lot of like movies he makes are like they're made up of big moments colliding into each other,
Yeah.
rather than like having like some small moments where like they're just talking and like, but not just like, but like that doesn't like one thing that I could feel like a small moment, like small moments in like Thor Ragnarok when Valkyrie, but when they see they find Loki, he's tied up. I forget exactly how that scene goes down, but you know what I'm saying? Like they're walking around the city and like things are happening and like
Hmm.
I don't know. I just feel like there's smaller moments, like not like if I feel like if Zack Snyder directed Thor Ragnarok, it'd be immediately from Surtur to like then to like Hela arriving and then Thor immediately jumping into action. And I'm like, there's no like you have to please give us
Well,
connective tissue.
I think that's the thing is he kind of approaches these movies because he only directs like big movies. It seems like recently in the
Yeah.
last like 10 years, and I think he approaches it as though they're separate. And what I mean by that is, to me, a good director and a lot of what Marvel's been doing is they just make a superhero movie, but that's not what it is. Like it's a comedy or it's a drama or it's
Yeah.
a spy thriller or it's a cultural thing. Or, it's talking about a lot of issues. I think Marvel kind of just directs. They just make movies that happen to have superheroes in them, but they're not. They don't direct it. They come with the approach of that you'll come with any movie.
Yeah.
Um, he kind of comes into the superhero movies thinking. I don't think of comic book movies as like a genre necessarily. Like technically it is, but I think it's like a mix of other genres. So it makes it interesting. But he sort of comes into it as though, oh, superhero means it has to be epic and crazy. No, you just kind of come into it like any other movie you would, and then you have those epic moments, which is fine. But I don't know, his approach is weird.
Very weird. Very, very, very.
It works for some DC fans. Like I see some people talk about it. People swear by Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, and that movie is not good. Stop.
I don't. Yeah, I really don't get it. And this is. It's not like, well, you're not a real DC fan. That was my most anticipated movie of the year. And,
Yeah.
I wanted to like it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's I
I
don't
love it.
sometimes I don't know. Yeah, but it's weird. There's like whole fan pages for Zack Snyder. Like, remember that one I used to show you?
Oh, like Zack Snyder Bible or something?
Yeah, Zack Snyder Bible. That's what it was. Like, I thought that was a joke, but no, these dudes really love Zack Snyder. Like, I thought it was all like supposed to be funny because he makes movies that everybody thinks are terrible. So they did it as a joke, but they really like love this dude.
Yeah.
Like, oh, did you see Elijah Wood? He actually tweeted the other day, "Can you guys all stop picking on Zack Snyder?"
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he literally tweeted that, like, "Stop picking on Zack Snyder."
Are people still really picking on him now?
I mean, people like I've seen tweets recently, like, oh, like people were saying, like, "Oh, I'm so glad Zack Snyder's daughter killed herself."
Oh Jesus!
Now he's out of DC, and like people are like, yeah, so I remember somebody just quoted a tweet about it and said, "Up, collateral damage." I was like,
oh, okay. Well, that's obviously taking it way too far.
That's what I'm saying. That's why Elijah Wood had to step in and just be like, it's never that serious for you guys to be talking about that.
No, nothing. Let me be very clear about with film. I love movies and I think they can help people and stuff, but nothing movie related is that important at all to be saying anything like that.
Yeah.
It's make believe. It's for fun. Calm down. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Really isn't that serious. I think movies can help people and even change lives to a degree, but that's absurd. So people really need to calm down. That's we go back to that toxic fandom, and the toxic fandom is only with Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Star Trek. Like big franchises.
Yeah, because people feel so like this weird, like incredible loyalty.
Yeah, there's no toxic fandom around The Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
That's not. It's annoying. That's the thing. It sucks. Is like as nerd culture has become more mainstream, it also has showed the disgusting side of it.
Yeah,
the part that should have stayed behind closed doors.
Oof. I really feel like wow, because I feel like I needed to get that off my chest.
No, it's good. I mean, yeah.
Let's talk about.
I wanted the DCEU to just reboot itself, but clearly they're not in the mood to do that. So
I don't care if they like. I don't even care at this point, I will watch. If it's a good movie, it's a good movie. I'll watch another Superman origin.
Yeah, I mean,
If it's really good, then watch it.
yeah,
But
I mean, I'll watch. I mean, if they want to keep the universe going, I'll keep watching it. I just, from a financial standpoint, I think they would have been
yeah,
better off rebooting it.
yeah,
Although I don't know what you do at this point, because even if you do reboot it, people are going to be like, another one.
like Wonder Woman is just keeping them from. And Henry Cavill is. I feel like he's really. I really like him, like his look as Superman.
Mhm.
I really feel like even like the comic book. There's a comic book drawing with him as Superman. I was like, wow, like he is Superman.
Hmm.
I mean, I wish he was a good actor, but like, but
I
like,
thought he was good in Man of Steel, but he has regressed.
yeah, I was like, I wish he was a good actor because I watched him in other stuff too. I was like, no, he's bad because he plays the same exact type of stoic character and like everything.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, I remember in Batman vs Superman, he showed like no range, and I was like, "Is this the same guy?"
And then his voice sometimes gets so weird.
Oh yeah,
Like,
he's
ew,
like
why they
fighting that
out like
accent.
that? In Batman, I laughed when I heard him say, "Do you bleed?" I was like, ugh. That's how I imagine Darth Maul sounding. Like, ugh. What do you? Why would he growl like that? What? I understand he was mimicking his voice, but like, what? Like it was. It was corny and like it sounded like a parody. Like everything about. Ugh. Terrible. Just terrible. And he has another moment where I feel like his accent was just terrible.
Oh yeah, most of those moments for me were in BBS,
Yeah.
kind of all throughout.
Oh, whatever. I just.
Yeah, hopefully they can rebuild with Aquaman and Wonder Woman 2, which we found out is taking place in 1984. It looks like, and Shazam. That I mean, I don't know. Maybe they just need to focus on solo films
Uh-huh.
because to me the solo films have been the best. Man of Steel, Wonder Woman. I think Aquaman's going to be good. I have no reason to think Wonder Woman 2 will be bad. Hopefully Shazam's good. Maybe they just need to focus on that because it's the team up movies, Suicide Squad, Batman vs Superman, Justice League that are really to me have been garbage. So I don't know. Maybe they should just. It seems like they might just be better off just focusing on. And then if you want to do some team up stuff, that's fine. But I don't want to see a Justice League 2 for a while.
Yeah, it feels like pointless even talking about future DC. if it's not already shot, I'm not even sure it's gonna come out.
Maybe I mean, for all we know, I don't know. I think Shazam comes out next. I think it comes out the same time as Captain Marvel.
Yeah, yeah,
Funny,
they come out a month apart.
But that's hilarious.
Yeah, Captain Marvels both come out at the same time.
Yeah,
and then
it was gonna have to get really good reviews for it to make money. By the way,
yeah,
if I'm telling you, if that movie, just mark my word, if that movie gets Suicide Squad level reviews or even Justice League reviews,
it will bomb.
That will do horrible. And they can't. Suicide Squad kind of survived because it had the funny trailers, which Shazam probably will have. However,
it had Will Smith, Margot Robbie, Jared Leto.
Yeah,
like.
But before Suicide Squad, there was no Suicide Squad. So what I'm saying is, if they try to do the Shazam thing, market it like Suicide Squad, people are already going to be like, okay, well, you kind of put me through this already. Fool me once. Shame on you. Fool me twice. Shame on me. So I think that people are wise up. So this movie needs to get upwards of 60% on Rotten Tomatoes, or it's just going to bomb.
It needs to get upwards of a 90.
Well, I mean, that's best case scenario, but I think at very least it needs to get a fresh rating.
I think DC needs 90s at this point. Like, they can't even take mediocre, like okay movies. They need great movies.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, kind of, yeah.
Because I'm like, people like if they make a okay movie, then it's not like that's not good enough. They've been making terrible movies.
Yeah, even like a 60 is kind of like, oh.
It's like if Marvel stumbles, then it's like, okay, well, they've made 100 really good movies.
Yeah.
Then DC, if they stumble, another dud in the bag, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So,
And again, and then same thing with Aquaman. I think Aquaman obviously is way more famous than Shazam, and so the only people who know who Shazam are diehards or people who are in their 80s.
Yeah.
But Aquaman, obviously, everybody knows him. I think Aquaman's kind of cool now, but he's also not cool. He's cool in that like the character is kind of a cool guy, but he's not cool in that he's part of the DCU. So there's also that uphill battle, although it is coming out in December, and I think its only competition is Mary Poppins. So, and I don't really think those are going for the same audience.
Yeah, at all.
I mean, there's probably some overlap just because everybody likes Mary Poppins, I guess.
I'm gonna see it because I like Emily Blunt.
Yeah,
I've never seen him actually the original Mary Poppins.
Yeah, me either. I mean, I probably will have by the time it comes out, but because I would like to check it out. But so there's no Star Wars this December, which by the way was a mistake, but neither here nor there. I kept saying I don't know why they aren't releasing this in December, and here we are. If only they had listened to this 19-year-old in Cincinnati. But really, I don't know why you release all these other movies and they make a bunch of money in December, and then you think, well, let me release it in May around Deadpool and Infinity War, and a couple weeks before Incredibles 2 and Jurassic World 2. That makes sense. Just, why didn't they think about this? Especially with all the reshoots. You had a good movie. I think the movie would have made more money in December. It would be cold at Christmas time. I don't know, it was stupid. Whatever. I'll never understand that. But I think since Lucasfilm made a mistake, Aquaman has a good opportunity. But it has to be good. If Aquaman has a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes, or even worse, like a 29 or 27, like Suicide Squad and Batman vs Superman did, then we were in a world of trouble. Again. The thing is, DC cannot afford to have any more duds at this point for a long time.
Yeah, because they need trust at this. Yeah,
yeah. Every movie needs to be at least decent. There's no room for, oh, sorry, another mistake. No, there isn't even room. I don't even think there's room for a Man of Steel at this point.
Yeah,
which is like kind of divisive. I think they need to make like a generally understood to be good movie.
Wonder Woman or above.
Yeah. They can't afford it anymore. You've done too many times, and people are wising up. People are not. I mean, look at Justice League. What did that tell you? Justice League tells you that you keep making these bad movies, we're not going to see them.
Mm-hmm.
And that was coming off a good movie. The
movie
right before it was Wonder Woman, and that people were still like, "Eh." So I don't know what they're going to do, but we'll see. I also, by the way, I mentioned Incredibles and Jurassic World. I'm excited for both of those movies, obviously. Very excited for Incredibles, obviously, because it's been, I saw that when I was 5 or 6. And then with Jurassic World, I wasn't that excited for it, but I'm hearing good fan reactions in Spain, talking about how it's kind of embracing the horror aspect of it and that it's really good and it's genuinely surprising. So I'm much more looking forward to Fallen Kingdom than I was before. So hopefully that turns out to be something special. I think that they both come out this month, and then Ant-Man and the Wasp. So that'll be interesting too.
Wait, that comes out this year?
Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Yeah,
that comes out July.
Wow, where have I been? I don't know why I thought that came out next year, but that's Captain Marvel and Avengers next year. Never mind.
Yeah, Captain Marvel's next March, and Avengers is May 4th, I think. I think Avengers is when Avengers 3 was supposed to come out. First week of May. Mm-hmm. Although if you saw my tweet, I had a bold prediction. I said, they'll come out in December. I don't know about that.
I mean, yeah, I remember you said that on Film Smart, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
That they would move the date up because there's no Star Wars.
I don't know if they would now, because with Captain Marvel, they're going to want people to be introduced to her before. So I didn't think about that when I tweeted it. But
Well, it's rough.
Well, is there anything else you wanted to add before we head out?
No, sir. I think I
All
have
right. Well,
everything.
I'll worry about this.
All of it is out of my body right now.
All right. Well, you guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment, give us any suggestions. Um, Hopefully, we'll be changing the channel up a little bit. Maybe start doing more video. It's been a while. I think it's been our last time you've seen us on camera was December of 2015 when The Force Awakens came out. We reviewed that. So it's been about 2.5 years. And hopefully we'll get some better audio and, we'll start talking about other things other than movies too. So I don't know if people have comments or anything, please let us know. Well, as always, stay film smart.